Hey guys, this is Jackie from techjackie.com and welcome you to another video on SEO. First of all, if you're brand new to this channel, make sure you press the subscribe button down below so whenever I release a new SEO video like this, you will get notified. Well, for today's video, I know many of you have been waiting for it, and that is the second part of my first SEO YouTube series. That is how I rank one of my clients' website on the first page of Google, in which I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step process on how exactly to rank one of my clients' brand new website, taking it from zero, from scratch, all the way up to the first page of Google. Right, so if you haven't watched the first part yet, make sure you check that out first. I'll leave the link in the description below so you can watch it, right? But for those of you who are ready for the second part, without further ado, let's jump right to my computer screen, right? And I'll show you the progress and what we have done so far. Recording, right? All right, so yeah, we're recording. Okay, so here guys, for this second part of the series, this is what we have done so far, right? So I decided to break it down to five main part, right? So the first part is the basic stuff, right, that we got the website set up, along with other necessary things which requires for SEO, right? Like kind of like a fundamentals. And then next comes the content for the service pages, right? That I told you in the previous part that we were like on the progress of writing the service pages, right? So it will be all these service pages that will rank on the first page of Google, right? So it will be the service pages that we actually target, right, for the keywords. And third will be the keyword research and the blog, right? So we have written like 2 blogs so far, and also I'll be showing you the keyword research progress that we have done. And then the fourth part will be the citations, right, and social signals. And then the fifth part will be the schemas and the progress so far. Okay, so first of all, the basic stuffs, right? So what we've done with the basic stuff, so those are like pretty simple. For example, like we use WordPress to build a website. So we install Yoast, right? So Yoast SEO. So it is one of my, actually it's my personal favorite. If you use other SEO plugins, and that's fine as well, but I use Yoast, right, because it's easy. So next we also connected the site to analytics, Google Analytics, right, and Search Console, right? So we also submitted the sitemap as well, right? So pretty basic stuff, right, all these. And then next we also installed all the necessary plugins, right? So what I mean by all necessary plugins are like, for example, WP fastest cache, right, in order to speed up the loading time, fastest cache. And then WP smush, right, so in order to compress the images, all these. So basically like get the website ready, right, both for the for the performance, the technical stuff, all those. So if you want to know all the all the plugins that I personally recommended, right, for SEO in 2020, I'll leave the link in the description below so you can watch it, right? I've already made videos for that. So whatever the plugins I introduced you to in that video, I've used them all on this website as well, so you can check on that. So these are the 3 basic stuff that we got the website ready, right? So and so far all the pages are already indexed on Google, right? So I'll just show you that as well. Anyway, okay, coming to the second part, that is the content for the service pages, right? So actually like we actually like we faced a small problem. Like actually it took us almost 11 days to complete all the service pages, right? Because the first batch of the content, actually once we got it, right, we actually hired someone outside to write, and then once we got it back, it was like very terrible, right? It was almost like kind of like a copy paste, something like that. So we really needed to to rewrite the content again, right, all over again. So it really delayed us a lot, but eventually we were kind of on the track. So pretty okay so far. So let me just show you the content here, right? So like if you remember from the first part, right, how we actually divided the site structure. So we have divided into the cities that we want to target. And the first part, the first cities that we're targeting is Melbourne, as mentioned in the previous video, right? So we have already like written all the content. So all these will be the service pages that we want to rank for, right? So canopy cleaning in Melbourne, end of list cleaning in Melbourne, and office cleaning in Melbourne, right? Besides, we also have it for the Brisbane locations, right? So the same stuff here, canopy cleaning Brisbane, and bond cleaning. End of list is also called as bond cleaning as well, right? And office cleaning there. So as you can see, we've got the content written now, right? As you can see, initially, we were struggling to get the content on, and as I mentioned, right, since the service will be the same, right, but only the difference will be the location. So we really needed to make sure that each of the content are like is unique, right, 100% unique. So that's another challenge that the writer needs to face as well. So but overall, this writer delivered quite a great job, right? He actually made sure that all the contents are at least 500 words, and they are like unique for each, right? So as you can see here is canopy cleaning Brisbane. We also have canopy cleaning Melbourne, right? So it will rank for, let's say, if a person type canopy cleaning Melbourne, then this page should show up. If I type canopy cleaning in Brisbane, and that page should show up, right? And the content will be different, even though the layout is same, right? But we make sure that the content is 100% unique, right? So but anyway, I'll just discuss later on in this video that as I mentioned in the previous part, the previous video, that is we may face the issues what we call as content duplications, right? So let's say if a person type in canopy cleaning Brisbane, our canopy cleaning Melbourne page show up, right? Because it's like the title tag is really the same, right? The service is the same. The only difference is the cities, right? So, or the place here. So this could happen, but so far we've been monitoring the progress, and we haven't seen that yet. Actually, we saw that on the first few days. Let's say if I type in canopy cleaning Melbourne, then our Brisbane canopy cleaning page showed up, something like that, right? So this happened for the first few days, but then later on, right, once we got all the content in place, Google start recognizing that. But so far so good, right? No content what do you say that keyword cannibalization happening. If you don't know what is a keyword cannibalization and how to fix it, I'll also leave the link in the description below, right? So it basically means if two or more pages on your website actually competing for similar set of keywords, right? And that can leads to many things. For example, two pages ranking for one keyword, right? You must have seen this from time to time. Or your page ranks for the wrong keyword, right? Let's say canopy cleaning Melbourne, but actually it's your Brisbane canopy cleaning page which ranks for it. So this is the second case of keyword cannibalization issues, right? But so far so good, no issues right now. We'll have to keep on monitoring for it, right? If it happens to be the case, right, then we have to kind of change the strategies a little bit, which I'll discuss in my future videos if it happens. Otherwise, if it doesn't happen, then that's well and good, right? So we've done with the content all for the service pages, right? As you can see here, all the service has unique content, right? All those stuffs there. Okay, and the third part which I have is this one, right? Just a second. Okay, third part from this that we've done so far is the keyword research process, right? And block sections. So first, before I really show what are the keywords that we have come across, right, let me kind of tell you that what are the tools that we use for keyword research. Very simple, very easy, all free tools. We use number one, Ubersuggest, right? Ubersuggest. Number two is Ahrefs, free version, right? And third is Moz Chrome bar, right? Actually, Ahrefs, I haven't even used it yet, right? Because we haven't started building the links yet, so I'm just gonna take it out for now. Only two tools that I've used, right? Ubersuggest and Moz Chrome bar. If you don't know how to actually do keyword research using these two tools, I'll leave the link in the description as well, right? So Ubersuggest used to find a list of keywords that we want to target. and mouse Chrome bar used to qualify or choose the keywords, right, which we want to target or to rank. For choosing the keyword basically means, like since the site is new, right, so we want to target low competition keywords. So I use this tool. So if you want to know how I do it exactly, I'll leave the link in the description below, right, to two of my previous videos which I actually teach you the exact process there, right? So after doing the keyword research, right, here are some of the list of keywords that we came up with. So the keyword research process, I actually use it to do for the blog section, right? And the reason we need to have a blog is, number one, we need to build the topical authority or topical relevancy of the website, right? If you don't know what is it, again, I'll leave the link in the description below so you can watch it. I've explained it in full detail, right? So basically, topical authority basically means if your website has enough content about a particular topic, when Google looks at your content, it will looks at it as being an expert, or being like an authority in a space, right? So that's basically the topical authority. So you can build topical authority using the content on your website, and that's why we have to have blogs, right, or any pages on your website which talks about similar stuff. Secondly is to basically drive traffic to our website as well, right? Because blogs are the good way to drive traffic, because uh, of course our goal is to rank for the service pages, but currently the service pages, they're like on like 80 or 90 positions, right? Because it's a new website, we've just finished, like it's not even a week that we have put in the content, so we have to really wait for it. But the blog section, these keywords, right, actually we have identified 10 keywords. So these 10 keywords, they're very easy, they're like low competition keyword, and which I'm quite sure that we can easily rank for it in less time, right? So our goal initially is to first drive traffic as much as possible from these low competition keywords. So here are some of the, I've divided into three categories, right? So first one is low competition keywords. So these are the blog articles in which I've already completed the first and the second one. Today just finished this one, cleaning tips for college students, right? Just finished these two. So next we're gonna start with house cleaning tips for seniors, right? So all these. And then the local keywords, right, the keyword which will help us with the locality relevancy, which again another concept which I talk in detail in one of my previous videos. I'll leave the link in the description below as well, which basically means like when you want to rank for keyword in any local cities, right, you need to have enough locality relevancy, or basically means optimizing for that particular locations, right? Not just the topics but the locations as well. So how can you build that? One of the ways is to have local content on your website, right? So since I told you we want to target Melbourne first, we want to rank in Melbourne first, Australia, Melbourne. So we have to have some of the content about Melbourne, right? And that's why we're just gonna write general blog articles about Melbourne, right? Just for example here, top 5 restaurants in Melbourne, or tips to find cleaning company in Melbourne, right? So this will maybe hopefully bring us a traffic. If not, right, at least it will build the locality relevancy which the site is needs, right? So in order to rank for the Melbourne locations. And lastly is the general topic keywords. So these are pretty like difficult keywords, right, which I don't expect to get us any traffic any sooner, because these are quite a difficult medium or too difficult keywords. But at least it will help us with the with the topical authority or topical relevancy, right? Because let's say we want to rank about end of list cleaning, right, which is one of our service page, right? So if we have enough content about end of list, so let's say this one is end of list cleaning checklist, that one is end of list service in Brisbane, another one is end of list in Melbourne. If we have enough content about end of list, then when Google looks at our website, it will understand that, oh, okay, so this particular website is specialized in end of list cleaning because they have talked a lot about end of list on their website, right? So this kind of build the authority that Google is looking for. This basically is the whole concept of topical authority or relevancy, which I'll leave the link in the description below, so don't worry much about that. But I hope you're kind of understand now, right? So because Google loves specificity, right? You see that many of the times while some of the website with less backlinks or less domain authority, DA or PA, outranks a big website, right, like authority website. The reason is because that particular small website is very specific about something, right? They're all of their websites basically just talks about a particular topics or one topics, and that makes them very like specific, like looks like an expert in Google's, right? So something like that. So we want to have to build that kind of expertise when that Google is looking for, right? Or authority that Google is looking for. And that's why we need to have some amount of content related to some particular thing, right? Okay. So these are basically about the keyword research process, right, and the blocks. So let me just show you the blocks that we have written so far for the website. So as you can see here, right, 10 cleaning tips and how to clean the baking soda. So just the first two, right, these two are done, and they're indexed as well. And they're ranking pretty. I mean, the first one doesn't rank. I haven't seen it in the ranking yet, but the second one just published today, so it's on the second page. But it will soon go away. I'm not sure that it's like a Google dance there. Okay. Anyway, I'll just talk about it again in the progress section in the video coming up. Okay. And fourth part, right, of this video is citations and social signals, right? As I mentioned earlier, right, we want to rank for Melbourne first. So we build the citations first, right, to the Melbourne locations. So let me just show you the website again. So we have divided into like Melbourne and Brisbane, right? These are the two cities. So let's say if I go to Melbourne, this is like a home page for Melbourne locations, right? So let me go to Brisbane again. This is like a Brisbane homepage for this, and then under each, like if you remember from my previous video, I kind of laid out for you, right? So these pages act like a mini home page, right, on this particular website. So we have the home page which targets Australia, and then we have mini home page which targets particular location, right? And then each mini home page has its own service page there. So I think you kind of get the idea here, right? So when I build the citations to the website, like I said, right, first we want to target Melbourne. So I build only citations to this particular page, right, Melbourne landing page or Melbourne home page, right? So only citations to this page, right? Because if your website only targets one locations, then obviously you only have to build citations to the home page, right? Because your overall website will is about one location. But if your website is about multiple locations, so you have to build sorry for that, you have to build citations to the dedicated landing page for that locations, right? So I build citations, like all the main citations are built and done, like let's say for Yelp, right, and through local business Australia, all these major Australian citations all built and done, right? I built about 25 citations to this particular page, right? Okay. And but there's actually like one small problem is that our Google My Business hasn't arrived yet, right? And I'm sure many of you have faced this problem, right? Like Google Business may be lost or something like that. I've already requested the postcard, the lost postcard, right? And I requested on the 4th of February. I actually ordered I actually claimed the Google My Business on the 22nd of January, right? So let me just write that for you. So GMB claimed on 22nd January, right? And then according to the Google My Business, after I claim, it says it takes 6 to 14 days to reach, right? But then after that it never reached. Then I requested lost GMB postcard on 4th of on 4th February, right? So again it says the same thing. So we have to wait, right? Like we have to wait for another 6 to 14 days, and let's see how it goes. Otherwise we'll have to take like different approach, which I'll leave the link in the description below again. If it takes it too long, right, for you to actually get your business verified, I also make a video on that topic as well, which I went through like four different processes. So I basically have to follow those processes, right? So in order to speed up the GMB verifications, right? Because all the major citations, we have done it. We have, like, let's say Yelp, right? All those major citations all done. But the only problem here is we are still waiting for a Google My Business listing, right, which hasn't arrived yet. So let's see, maybe in the third part, right, in another 2 weeks we can get it. Not sure, but let's see. So I can, like, kind of dive into how to actually, optimize your Google My Business, right? So anyway, we'll wait for it. And the social signals, right? So what I mean by social signal here is, we one of the citations which we built is actually, the Facebook page, right, for the website, right? So let me just show you that. We actually built 2 pages, right? So we utilize what we call as like Facebook. Okay, just a second here. We utilize what we call it as Facebook location management tool, right, which allows us to create one Facebook page but for multiple locations, right? So let me just show you that so you can understand that. The good thing about Facebook is that they allow you to actually create, like, one page but with multiple locations, right? So we created first the company page, right, and then we created the second page, which is the Melbourne page, as a citation. So being cleaning, okay, maybe a spelling wrong here, just a second. All right, so yeah, here's our primary page, right, for the companies. This is the primary, like, Facebook is also like a citations, right? So it's also it's one of those very important citations as well that you need to build, right? So when you first start your business, your website, for one of the first foremost thing you need to do is to build a Facebook page for that, right? And since I told you in the first part that this client has never done any online marketing before, right? So having Facebook page set up is actually the first thing. So as you can see here, this is the Facebook page for the company, right? And when you hover to the locations here, right, you actually see that we don't have the location set up. Why? Because if you click on this one and you click on this one, it will bring us to the identical page, but here is different locations. So this is our specific Melbourne Facebook page, right? So let me just go back. This is our company page, right? Let me just kind of zoom in for you as well. Okay, as you can see here, the username is BN Cleaning Australia, right? And when you hover to this one, and then if you click on this one, right, you see that the name here changes, right? BN Cleaning Melbourne. It's basically one page, but it's like a branch page, this one. So if you post anything on the primary page or in the parent page, right, or the company page, it will also get posted here, right? So this is the cool thing about Facebook. This is the cool things about Facebook multiple location page. That is, if let's say you have 10 locations, if you post on your main page, right, all those 10 locations will get the same post, right? So and also if you want to post a specific thing on any particular locations, you can always go to your particular location page and post it there, right? So this is a very good thing about Facebook page. It makes it very easy for you to manage your page, right, for multiple locations as well. So this is what we've done with the social signals. And then besides, we also bought social signal package, right, from SEO Butler. So let me just go to the website and show you here. So there's a website called SEO Butler, which sells various SEO services, and there's a package called social signal here, right? So if you go to shop now here, it's very cheap, right? Like for 200 social signal or 200 social shares, it's just for $14. What they do is, you buy this, you enter your URL, and then they will like actually, it's actually the real signal from real people, right? They go and share your URL across the board. So why social signal is important, right? Especially for new websites. So you think about it, if you're just starting a new website or new business, if you don't have enough signals like from socials, so what does Google think, right? It means that you don't do active promotions, you're not a real business. So in that case, many people say that social signal help in rankings. It's actually not directly but indirectly, right? So it acts like a signals that you're actually a real legitimate business, right? So remember this, guys. If you're just starting out your business, or even if you haven't, if you already started your website, don't forget social signals, right? Make sure you have enough amount of shares, likes, follows, all those. So it's still very important, and that's what we did, right? So we started the social signals. We just started this about 4 days back. It's a 10 days process, right? So we're waiting for the delivery, and I'll update with you in the next video, right? So all the signals there. Okay, before I move on to the last part, right, the schemas and the progress, let me kind of clarify with you the citations that what we have used for the name, address, and phone number. So for the name, right, all for the name, we use the name of the website is BN Cleaning, right? The name of the company is BN Cleaning. So we use only this name. We don't put it like BN Cleaning Melbourne, right? We don't do it like BN Cleaning Brisbane. We use the same name across the board, right? So if we're going to the next location, which we haven't done it yet, but let's say if we want to move to Brisbane or another city, we'll still use the same name here, right? It's the same name. Address, we use the specific address, right? Address, specific address. So we have physical address in Melbourne, we have physical address in Brisbane, all those specific address. And phone number, right? Actually, phone number is also should be unique, right? So Google can identify that they're actually two different business, right? So phone number also will be unique. So Brisbane location will be one phone number, Melbourne location will be one phone number. And we also make sure that in the description of citations, we mention the locations, right? So let's say if I do a citations in Melbourne, so we put the name as BN Cleaning, but in the description we write we serve in Melbourne, right? Let's say if I do in Brisbane, again I'll use the same name, right, and the address, unique phone number, but we'll mention in the description that we serve in Brisbane, right? So in this case, Google can understand that it's actually the same business name, but serving in different locations, right? Don't ever use different name for your citations, right? Because it's at the end of the day, it's your company name. You can't really change to BN Cleaning Melbourne, BN Cleaning Brisbane, something like that, right? So we'll do this again for Google My Business as well, right? So as I said, we for the citations, we build it to this Melbourne landing page, so the URL will be this one, right? Anyway, let me just kind of show you BN Cleaning Yelp. Let me just show the Yelp citations, right? So it will be easier for you to really visualize that. So as you can see here, BN Cleaning, right? And we specified here. See, BN Cleaning is a professional cleaning company in Melbourne, Victoria, right? So here we specify that the address that we specify here. Okay, so this is the thing here, what I mean here, right? So if we were to move on to Brisbane again, we'll use the same name, right? Just change the description, change the address, change the phone number, that's it. Okay, so hope you're clear with this now, right? Last part is the schemas and progress, right? So I'm sure you must be very kind of excited about schemas as well, which schemas is one of the toughest thing, right, that I actually went through, because this is a different business thing that I've worked with, right? So let me show you the schemas that we've done here. So we've added two schemas. One is to the home page, one is to the Melbourne page, right? Because as I said, we will target Melbourne first, so we want to rank in Melbourne. right? So all the citations we build to Melbourne, all the schemas we also make with the Melbourne first. Again, for the schemas, we don't put it on each and every page. We put it only on the pages that that only necessary, right? So let's say in Melbourne locations, we only put it in this page, Melbourne landing page, right? We don't put it on any service of the Melbourne page, right? So it is not necessary. But why we have to put in the home page? Actually, like a couple of days back, something struck on my mind. Like, I actually read an article on the internet which says that if a local business serves in multiple locations, they are termed as organizations, right? Let me repeat that. If a local business serves in multiple locations, and what I mean by multiple location here is not not in the same states or same area, but surrounding suburbs or nearby. But let's say in Melbourne, right, in Brisbane, Melbourne and Brisbane, these are like 12 hours apart, right, by road, so very far apart. So let's say if you have like 10 offices in UK, right, in different cities in UK, let's say London, Manchester, right, all these like very far apart, then it is termed as organization. So what we did with the schemas here, on our home page, we pasted an organization schema and we referred to the local schemas on the service on the each and every location page, right? So let me just show you that. There's a very interesting stuff here, which I'm sure no one actually really mentioned about it. So how we actually manage this schema, first of all, is if you're using WordPress, there's a free plugin called HFCM, right, which allows you to paste any code, any extra code on your WordPress website on any location, any page. Make sure you install it. I talk about it in my free SEO plugins for WordPress in 2020. Make sure you check that out. Okay, so as you can see here, I created two schemas. One is Melbourne schema, one is homepage schema, right? So let me show you first the Melbourne schema so you can kind of understand what we've done here. Okay, so as you can see here, this is our code. Let me copy and paste it here, right? Need a bigger space. Okay, so this is the code there. So a typical schemas, right? And if you're wondering where I got this schema from, there's a free website, right, which actually generates schemas for you. If you don't know, again, I'll leave the link in the description. I go exactly how to go to that website, how to generate schemas, and how to install it on your website if you're still wondering, right? Anyway, these are my schemas. So type professional service, right? So cleaning service, professional service, and the name is BN Cleaning, and then we put the description here. And then here's an interesting thing here. We also put here parent organization, right? Parent organization, because remember, if local business serves in multiple locations in the country, it is termed as organization. So our local schemas is actually a child or children of our homepage schemas, right? So our parent schemas, parent organization is actually our homepage here, right? So we assign the parent organization as being our homepage. And by the way, when you do schemas, you assign each and every schemas with their ID, right? So our homepage schemas is assigned with the ID of this one. This is our homepage schemas here. So homepage schema is assigned with the ID of organization. So first you put the address, the URL, right, of where your schema is present, and followed by these hash symbols, and then followed by anything after this. So I named it as organizations. So for the local schema, this is the Melbourne schemas, right? As you can see, this is a local schemas. Our parent schemas is our homepage schemas here, as you can see, right? So we are referring to our homepage as being a parent of us, right, of the Melbourne locations. And the ID that we want to actually connect, right, we actually need to connect this schemas with the homepage schemas. We connect it through ID property here of the schemas, right? So parent organization is our homepage schemas, and homepage schemas ID is actually this one, right? And then these are normal schemas there. So let me show you the homepage schemas, right? So you can kind of understand that. So this is our homepage schemas. So our homepage schemas type is organization, name is PN cleaning, right? And we assign ID to our homepage schemas, and the ID name is this one, right? As you can see here, this is connect to this one. So when this is local schema. So when local schema needs to identify the parent schemas, it identify with the ID. So it means that, okay, Google, let me kind of interpret like this for you. Okay, Google, our parent organization is comes with the ID of this one. And then when Google looks at it, okay, Google will go to find, and then, oh, okay, we found it here, the ID is being mentioned here. Okay, so now these two are connected up together, right? So as you can see, I hope you understand the logic here, right? And then besides that, we also mentioned here, this is another property in schemas called as department schemas. So our organization schemas, right, has multiple department under it. So one of the department is our Melbourne location. So all I did under the department here is basically copy and paste the local schemas, in onto the organization schema, right? So these are basically all the local schemas of Melbourne locations, right? So it's basically the same code there. So this means that the organization schemas has a department. First is the Melbourne locations. Let's say if we want to optimize for Brisbane, so I'll have to paste on the Brisbane schemas here, right? So all is that simple. So we connect them up together using using the ID property here, as you can see here. Oh, and besides that, we also assign ID to this as well, right? Assign ID to the local schema. So this local schema ID is this one. This is the local schemas, right? So we connected with this one, right? We connected with this one here. This one here, right? As you can see here. Anyway, if you're still confused, right, you can look at the code again. It's actually very easy to understand. It's just like connecting up both the schemas together. So you're basically connecting up the organization schemas with the local schemas, right, using the ID property here. So if any one of you is still confused, right, you can comment them down in the comment section down below, and I'll probably send you over the code. Or if you can take the code out from the website, that's also fine as well, right? And that's all about the schemas, right? We put two schemas, one on the home page, one on the Melbourne locations landing page, right? The home page has the organizations, and it is connecting up with the service, the Melbourne location local schemas, right? Okay, and coming to the progress, right, like where we have reached so far. So this is our Google Search Console dashboard. So as you can see here, these impressions, we actually have 5 clicks already, right, from Google. So it's actually coming from one of our keyword, and that's funny because as I said, we want to target Melbourne first, but actually we rank for Brisbane first. So let's say canopy cleaning Brisbane, right? So when we do a search for this, here's our website, canopy cleaning Brisbane. It's already ranking on the first page of Google, right, within like 3 days after we publish the content on the service page. So that's very funny, right? So it's been ranking on the first page now, but I doubt it's called Google Dance, right? Which basically means Google Dance happens when when you publish new content, then your content will basically stay on the top for a while, then after a certain period of time you'll just fall back on, right? So I assume it would be Google Dance, right? Because it's quite impossible to actually rank so fast within such a small period of time, right? But anyway, it could be that we already achieved one of the keywords first page ranking as well, right? So let's wait and see, right? But anyway, we've got like 5 clicks now. And these are the average positions, right? And we started, ranking for a couple of keywords, right? So um, these are the progress so far. As you can see here, we've started ranking for multiple keywords now, right, in like various locations. So it will take some time, right? So far, not too many progresses, but yeah, we can really expect that, right, from the website, which is approximately about, we can say that it's even less than 2 weeks old, right? Because as I said, we had a problem with the content side, so it took us about 11 days to actually, put in the content. So it's been like, about a little over than a week. That's it, right? So anyway, that's all about it, right? So everything that you need to know now, everything that we have done so far, and all those stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down in the comment section down below, and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. And if you like this video, right, make sure to press the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about this type of SEOs. I'll be making this video, as I mentioned, every 2 weeks, right, on every Friday. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, right, to follow up. And if you want me to make any videos on any topics with regards to SEO, make sure you comment them down in the comment section down below as well. And that's all for it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.